This video is brought to you by DuckedOffRadio.
Make moves like Kyrie, hating niggas always crying. Cocky nigga, my sign is Leo like the Cadbury. Oh, pull up, here I go.
Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Darius. Make y'all know the reaction video on the day, man. Look, I'm about to react to 8 rappers who should have been XXL Freshmen. Now look, in today's game, like, first of all, shout out to XXL, you feel me, for making a list with, you know what I'm saying, the newest talent in a rap game, you know what I'm saying, or hip hop, you know what I'm saying. So shout out to them, because they was the first to think of some shit like that. And matter of fact, most of the artists every year that be on the XXL Freshman, you don't even hear them no more. We don't hear about them no more. There's only like probably 2 out the whole group that'll probably have a successful career. The rest of them, they'll either fizz out early or you don't hear about them no more. It'll be quick. You feel me? It's like it'll come quick. You feel me? It don't last long. You got no stamina, no type of stamina. Their career have no type of stamina. It'll be like a few, not even a handful. It'll be a few, like literally 2 or 3 rappers out of that group that'll have a successful career. But with that being said, let's get into the video.
8 rappers who should have been an XXL Freshman. XXL Magazine is one of the most well-known and widely read hip-hop publications to ever exist. Founded in 1997, the magazine started its run with a double cover featuring Jay-Z and Master P. The magazine found great success, and 10 years later, in 2007, the publication debuted its freshman class list. The list, which has released a line up every year except for 2008, is meant to draw attention to both underground rappers with big potential and more mainstream artists who are on the verge of blowing up. The list is meant to be a cosign of sorts, and for many up-and-coming artists, it's their first taste of widespread recognition. However, for a list that prides itself on being both a tastemaker and prediction of future star power, there have been several major artists who have slipped through the list's fingers. Even some of today's biggest stars were not featured on the list early on in their careers. The reasons for their absence may vary. While some artists were snubbed, other artists outright declined their spot. Before we get started, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Now, here are 8 rappers who should have been an XXL Freshman. Number 8, Tootsie. There were a lot of complaints when it came to the 2020 XXL Freshman list.
Tootsie, he is a solid artist. He is. You feel me? But the same way XXL did Cowboy, because Cowboy, he came out with that single, they overlooked him. He had to wait for the next year, you know what I'm saying? So they should do the same thing. They most likely are gonna do the same thing with Tootsie, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know about this one. I don't know about Tootsie. I thought he was gonna say some older rappers or whatever, but I don't know about Tootsie, because Tootsie still got an opportunity. He still got next year.
But something a lot of people agreed on was that North Carolina rapper Tootsie should have been included. In just the past year, he's released 10 music videos that have together amassed 50 million views, with the biggest one being Red Lights, which is sitting at 11 million views alone. He's yet to release his debut album, and despite the fact that they're signed to the same label, he hasn't tried to get a DaBaby feature yet. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Tootsie on next year's XXL cover, once he builds a bigger name for himself. But it's still puzzling not
Same thing I just said.
Not to see him on the 2021, considering that his music does more numbers than a lot of other people on that list. I guess for XXL, it's more about how much buzz your name has than the actual numbers your music is doing. And on the bright side, he still has a lot of room to grow. Not all hope is lost when it comes to him making the XXL cover. Number 7, Young Thug. Before being recognized as one of the most influential voices in modern trap music, Young Thug spent the early part of his career widely disdained for being difficult to work with and making controversial statements. Perhaps part of his bad reputation can be attributed to bad blood between Thug and Vanessa Slayton. the editor-in-chief of XXL Magazine. In 2014, Thug was invited to be part of the XXL Freshman class, but according to Slayton, canceled the night before with little notice and absolutely no explanation. After the cancellation, Slayton opened up.
Hey, Thug just a wild nigga to work with, but then again, like, Thug should have been on XXL, because Thug, that nigga, man, yeah, hey, Thug had some solid hits. He had like a solid few years, so Thug should have been on XXL.
In an interview with Rolling Stone about the situation, during the interview, she severely downplayed Thug's relevance, stating, quote, "A big year for a rap artist isn't based off of 2 songs. It takes a lot more than that to have a huge year. Thug has had a nice burn for a few months, but I don't think he's dominated an entire year," unquote. She went on to insist that both Rich Homie Quan and Sage the Gemini would be bigger than Young Thug. This was not a prediction that aged very well for a person who is supposed to be able to recognize
that shit crazy, because it's like Thug run was longer than both of them boys.
Superstar talent, but I can't be mad at her for being salty that he canceled like that. Number 6, Takashi 6ix9ine. Though Takashi has been out of the public eye for a few months.
Hey, they knew not to put Takashi on that shit. You feel me? They say off back, they know they ain't want no rat on a fucking XXL. You feel me? So they do not to put Takashi on that bitch.
While serving some time behind bars, it wasn't too long ago that the rapper's name was finding its way into every conversation regarding rap. The controversial rapper who stirred up drama.
Why he look like somebody homosexual auntie or some shit like that? Like, come on, this shit crazy.
For fun, made no apologies, and transferred all of his chaotic energy into music, was taking the rap game by storm. So when he didn't show up on the cover of the 2018 freshman list, many people were left wondering why. The answer has more to do with politics than music. Though Takashi was already well known and on the verge of making his ascent into superstardom, over the next year, he had also already attracted a sizable amount of legal trouble. Though plenty of rappers have been picked as freshmen while facing legal charges, Takashi had recently been charged with sexual harassment and the use of a child in sexual performance over an illicit video that contained a 13-year-old girl. While XXL has not made an official statement on the issue, popular theory is that crimes of a sexual nature, especially including minors, are a subject that XXL deemed too controversial to allow. This drew some criticism from fans, who asserted that rapper XXXTentacion had been featured on the list the year before, despite an array of violent charges. Number 5, A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky is known for not only his refined sense of style, but also for his natural charisma and calm, collected personality, which
A$AP Rocky, he had a solid career, you know what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't on the XXL Freshman cover, he had a solid career.
Might explain his reaction to not appearing on the XXL Freshman list. In 2011, he released the project Live, Love, A$AP, which thrust him into a more mainstream spotlight within the rap community. The project caught the attention of XXL editors, who did in fact offer the rapper a spot on the 2012 list. However, A$AP declined. As he would later go on to explain in an interview with Fuse, his decision was not an emotional one, but a practical one. Rocky insists that his rejection of the offer was due to a conflicting tour schedule and an inability to make it to the shoot. He went on to explain that he had, quote, love for everybody involved in the shoot, even the many corny rappers being featured. He quickly shouted out a cosign for fellow rapper Danny Brown, before moving on from the question. Rocky's short but sweet answer is completely on brand for the pragmatic rapper, who has addressed almost every major event in his career, including his incarceration in Sweden this past year, in a similar fashion.
I heard about that.
Number 4, Drake. Drake is arguably one of the most famous and influential entertainers of our generation. The rapper holds more records than almost anyone in the music industry.
Now think about it, Drake wasn't on the XXL, you feel me? But Drake is probably the greatest artist of this era, you know what I'm saying?
Including becoming the first solo act to ever surpass 200 entries onto the Billboard Hot 100. So when you learn that he was never a feature on the XXL Freshman list, your first question may be, how did they miss this? The answer is a little complicated. In 2009, Drake was not offered a spot on the XXL Freshman list after the release of his mixtape, So Far Gone. However, the next year in 2010, both Drake and Cash Money label mate Nicki Minaj were offered spots on the list. Both artists decided to decline the spot. When asked about this decision, both rappers asserted that they felt that they had surpassed the point in their careers where it felt appropriate to classify themselves as freshmen. This honestly makes sense, as by this point Drake had 2 platinum certified songs. Best I Ever Had off of So Far Gone, and Find Your Love off of Thank Me Later. 2 months after declining a spot on the list, Drake and Nicki shared a joint cover on the magazine, cementing themselves as artists who had moved past blowing up and as bona fide stars. Number 3, Post Malone. Post Malone's music has never been able to be strictly classified as rap, a fact that has drawn both criticism and praise for the 24-year-old musician. Early on in his career, he drew heavy criticism after comments in which he said he felt rap music wasn't meaningful, and that he didn't want to be a rapper. Despite this, he maintains the comments were misconstrued, and is best known as a rapper. Of course, this controversy would re-enter when Post was not featured as a 2016 freshman. The artist took to Instagram to immediately dispel any potential rumors, claiming that he denied the spot himself because of a busy schedule that left him too tired to fly to New York to participate in the shoot. However, Vanessa Slayton, the editor-in-chief of the magazine, took to Instagram to claim that Post declined the spot in a continued effort to distance himself from the title of being a rapper, as he planned to make music that moved away from hip-hop. With the power of hindsight, it would seem that effort, genuine or not, did not pan out, as Post is...
Dog, they gonna classify him a rapper regardless because the rap industry is versatile. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas singing on hip hop beats now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like niggas rapping on R&B beats. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the hip hop category is versatile. So they gonna classify him as a rapper regardless.
Still closely associated with the hip hop industry. Number 2, Lil Baby. It seems like any artist to receive a Drake feature is destined for a sudden boost in their career prospects. Except maybe for I Love Milking.
Hey, he threw I Love McConan under the bus, you feel me? Hey, that Tuesday record, hey, everybody know that Tuesday record, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I Love McConan, he was hot until he pronounced that, you know, he was a little bit on the other side of the fence, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, he was popping with that Tuesday record.
Baby is not an exception to this rule, initially gaining traction with his debut project, Perfect Timing, which was supported by fellow Atlanta resident Young Thug. However, it was Drake's supported single, Yes Indeed, off of Baby's 2018 debut studio album, Harder Than Ever, that catapulted him into fame.
No, I disagree. Cause Lil Baby, he already established himself as a solid artist before Drake got on that feature. You feel me? So I disagree.
The album performed pretty well, selling over 700,000 units by December of 2018. Additionally, the Lil Baby and Gunna collaborative album, Drip Harder, also released in 2018, performed impressively, selling over 300,000 units in its first 4 weeks. So after a very successful year, some fans were confused when Baby did not receive a spot on the 2019 freshman list. While no official consensus has been given from the editors at XXL, the prevailing theory is that Lil Baby was deemed too successful by the time the list was formed to be considered a freshman. After moving millions of units and songs with artists like Young Thug, Drake, and Offset, it's kinda hard to argue that Baby hadn't already transitioned into a mainstream audience.
Yeah.
And finally, at number 1, Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X would have been the perfect candidate for the 2019 XXL Freshman list. A relatively unknown rapper who spent most of his time...
But they saying it's like Lil Nas X had a solid career, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because you have a few hits don't mean you have a solid career. You know what I'm saying? A few hits and a solid career is two totally different things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then that Old Town Road, you feel me? It only did the numbers it did because it was controversial. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody classified, they wanted to classify it as a country song. When the country people, they like didn't want no parts of it, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why that song did so good. And then even the songs he dropped after that, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even reach up to the height to the Old Town Road. So I don't even think Lil Nas X should be on this motherfucking list, you know what I'm saying? That's my personal opinion.
time making video game related rap and Nicki Minaj memes before dropping a genre bending song that went on to chart #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 19 straight weeks. Lil Nas's rise to fame is an underdog story that could only be made possible in the era of social media, and would have been a perfect opportunity for XXL to weigh in on the ever-changing, rapidly evolving landscape of hip-hop. As with other artists on this list, XXL has refused to reveal any reasoning on why rappers are or are not selected for their list. But speculation includes the idea that the list is unfavorable to rappers who are best known for remixes. And while Old Town Road is a completely original song made by Lil Nas, it wasn't until the rapper featured country star Billy Ray Cyrus on the remix that the song gained its full momentum. Despite his exclusion from the list, XXL has run a variety of stories on Lil Nas and his hit song, and the overwhelming majority of them have painted the rapper in a positive light. So, which rapper do you think deserved to make the XXL list the most? Did we forget to add anybody on this list? Let me know in the comments below. And before you leave, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to our channel.
Alright, that's the end of the video. Look, man, I wouldn't say which rapper should be on the XXL freshman cover, because all these artists are clearly not freshmen no more. You know what I'm saying? They got their feet wet in the game already. So all I can say is, probably the hottest artist right now on that list would probably be Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be Lil Baby, hands down. He got the most traction. He's the most relevant. So that's probably the only thing I can say about that. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Get in the comment box. Let me know what y'all want to see next. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.
Pull up on the scene with the whole team. You like, what's that smell? I'm like, that's that sour D. Bitch, you already know that we smoking. Never smoking, Reggie, only poking. Watch me pull up on the scene with the whole team. You like, what's that smell? I'm like, that's that sour D. Bitch, you already know that we smoking. Never smoking, Reggie, only poking.